Good morning. This morning, I wanted to talk about something that is really relevant to me today and has been relevant many times before. And that is the way that we manage and handle the emotions, thoughts, and beliefs that seek to discourage and demean and just stamp out everything that we're trying to do. And this is definitely something that I'm struggling with this morning. I know it's partly a symptom of physical stress and just my physical state. And it's also just, this is something that I don't think necessarily goes away while we're alive, having to deal with the kind of echoes of trauma. But the good thing is that we get better every time at handling it, to the point that it lessens every time and becomes more just like a small echo. A small echo, a small memory, and we become more and more of an expert at handling it. And I'm definitely really proud of how far I've come with handling it. It's still really difficult, and I'm still in the middle of a forever learning curve. We are forever increasing our resilient skills, no matter how recovered we may be. It's something we're going to be doing our whole lives. So what is really helping me is remembering, yes, I can have the physical sensations of fear and discomfort. I can have the mental and emotional sensations of fear and discomfort, but I can also label those as not relevant, because in the end, we are our own authorities to our own selves. And honestly, what we say goes in our mind, and that's what affects our emotions, our beliefs. We may have adopted in the past thoughts and beliefs that served to help other people's emotions and didn't serve to help our own. So it's just a part of that learning process, a part of our resilience practices, in remembering how to, like, what are those thoughts and those emotional narratives and interpretations, mental and logical interpretations of who we are in our life, in the world, and what our story is and what we're experiencing. Like, how do we interpret ourselves in a way that protects our highest vision of what we know that we're meant to do on earth, and the ways that we want to experience the world and protect other people and protect ourselves. We have to maintain the way that we interpret ourselves through the discomfort. We have to just keep on practicing remembering positive ways to interpret ourselves and to really be our own strong mental structure that since we do have the power to choose how we interpret ourselves in the world, anything that comes up that doesn't make us feel stronger, more empowered, more connected with the world, write it off. You absolutely have the power to. Invasive thoughts, yeah, sure, maybe you have like little, you will still have little echoes, but it won't be all encompassing, you know? It won't feel like that is your reality, because we have the absolute authority and ability to decide what is and isn't what we want to experience, and how we want to interpret our bodily sensations and our memories, including memories of what other people have told us they've experienced or what we've seen in movies or whatever. So just always choose to interpret things in your highest vision, and you, during those intense moments, the best shortcut to do this, to figure out, well, what is my intense vision, or my highest vision for myself. In these intense moments, the best way to do that is to think, what makes me feel comforted and safe? What makes me feel comforted and safe? And more connected, and just go with that, and acknowledge that any judgments you might have against yourself is just your overactive mind that wants to continue saying that you're always the problem, because you know that you're the only thing you can control and that you are your own authority. So you think if you make yourself your own villain, or the villain for every situation, that you solve every situation. But that's not, unfortunately, how things work. We aren't villains in every situation. Sometimes we're villains to other people, but that doesn't mean that we need to adopt seeing ourselves in a villainous way, because we know that we aren't in an extreme circumstances. We know that we're not in circumstances where, theft, murder, crimes are a part of the story. I don't care what, what narratives were popped into your pretty little mind when you were younger based on seeing movies, entertainment, true crime stories, but really be like, get all of that away. What is actually in your own personal reality? What is your own personal world that you have personally experienced and that is floating around you, and kind of the type of circumstances you're in, and just really using your powerful mind to remind yourself that you have no reason to interpret yourself and your circumstances in ways that aren't conducive to what you're trying to accomplish. If you're trying to accomplish better physical health, if you're trying to accomplish, having a job where you feel really valued and secure, and like it has a, a meaning, a meaning to you that really lifts your spirits, makes you feel connected to the world in a much bigger picture, like poetic way. Just always be thinking, how can you protect yourself? How can you change your mindset, your thoughts, even a little bit, in order to be working for you? It's like sometimes our traumatic experiences have caused us to be out of our body, to not be really connected and feeling and perceiving through our body for long periods of time. Or if we are perceiving, we constantly have this narrative in our mind of not trusting our body, not trusting our experiences, not trusting the human experience on the physical realm. because the body is the place where harm can come to us, and the mind is the place where we can have total 100% control, where we are our own authority. So it's just this kind of, I definitely get it. It's this balance of trying to figure out how to honor our bodies and feel safe in our bodies and our minds and our body working in partnership together, so that we aren't so caught in our minds where this really started. That's where this really started, our thoughts and very imaginative narratives and all these words with rapid fire meaning connection and meaning and connection. And um and maybe we've experienced this most of our lives, and so we don't really realize how much we are in our head, how much we are interpreting and perceiving everything through thoughts and through imaginings of what could occur, what if, what might possibly happen. And that's a really powerful ability to have. So if you're gonna use it, you do have it, that ability, so use it to your advantage, in the sense of asking yourself positive things. What if I am really on the edge of a breakthrough? What if I really am so close to realizing the key that allows me to consistently combat these really fearful, painful experiences that detract from my practical goals, what I'm trying to do with my life? And further into that line of thinking, where you're just imagining, what could the answers for me be? What does protecting myself look like? What does comforting myself look like? What does having a self-protective mindset look like? And it's really definitely important to practice feeling safe in our body again, and especially when we are exercising again. I think that the mindset we do it with is just as, if not if more, important as doing the actual physical activity. It's crucial to figure out how to have that mental posture, and that kind of understanding of how the narrative of your life fits with what you're doing with exercise, and how that fits into the rest of your life. So in whatever you do, just remember that compassion is always going to propel you in the direction you want to go. And exercise is really important, but in order for it to be a sustainable thing that really feels a part of you and feels nurturing and doesn't feel like you're forcing it, go into it slow, with the mindset not to use it to be I was gonna say not to be forceful, but that's really up to you in your own, your own world of what makes sense to you. But these resilience practices are absolutely what is needed in order for us to remember and become comfortable with being an embodied human, and not so much just a floating mind. How we can sometimes feel when we have been, using substances or just really in relying on addictions in order to manage and feel control around our emotions in the world we are in. That's always a good sign that it's time to be just a bit more curious and a bit more open to our own selves, our own heart, our own peace, our own pleasure, our own comfort, and just thinking, what mindset would I take that would allow me to feel safe in this moment, that would allow me to feel optimistic about the future, that would empower me to really drop all the fears and know that I am on the path. I'm on the path. I am not seeing evidence immediately, but that doesn't mean that things aren't happening, that the compounding effort isn't going to really help my future self. And this is something that I've done in the past, something I've realized in the past, especially 5-6 years, that, how much compounding or how much the effort that we put in to care for ourselves, how much it does compound. And even when you're half-heartedly or with like the worst mental posture ever, or with, just really fear-based sensations and inconsistency, even when you're making efforts in that way and all the ways that you would potentially judge as like in an all or nothing way, like, why even do it? I'm not doing it perfect. Just know that truly every effort you make for your own highest good matters and does compound over time. And it truly does. And things really happen in ways that you wouldn't be able to predict in the moment until it happens and comes along. And it's absolutely worth the effort that we put in. And just make sure that you're helping yourself to enjoy and not feel intimidated by the process, because that's the only way to make these changes, these mindset changes, these habitual changes, the changes of the partnership between our minds and bodies. This is the only way to make it sustainable long term, and to prevent our very powerful and, dare I say, overactive minds from preventing our own selves from living the life that we want to live. We got to protect ourselves from getting in our own way. And it starts with really working on the mind, the mindset, and slowly editing and changing the kind of immediate responses that we have to dealing with traumatic thoughts, feelings, memories, bodily sensations, and always looking for a wide variety of ideas from other people that can help us. We can be thinking all day long for years and not find the answer sometimes until it comes from another person. I've truly experienced that, and I'm extremely grateful for the people who have helped me. So just, stay open to other ideas. Always be looking for other ideas. We can use our minds to work for us instead of against us. And as recovered people, that's just a part of the daily gig. That's just a part of the daily practice towards increasing and celebrating our resilience as human beings. I affirm for you that you will continue to discover new ideas and new bodily sensations and mental postures and narratives that help you personally as an individual feel safe, feel supported, and that you will continue to experience and remember that you can truly trust yourself and that you are the source of authority for your own mind and that you can embrace that for the better, not to demean yourself, not to imagine all the fears, um, and be consumed by those ideas, but to think of the positives, the exciting possibilities, just the comforting possibilities, and to take pleasure in the day-to-day life that is in front of you right now during this extended lifelong process of increasing our resilience and celebrating being alive and helping to bring justice to some of the circumstances that we have identified caused us the harm or enabled the harm, which kind of has been looping around in our minds for so long, because those thoughts and emotions are valid too. We just can't let it consume us to the point where we have so many stress chemicals just running through our body and we're distracted and disempowered from experiencing joy and pleasure and feeling resilient and strong against new constant challenges during the lifetime. So thank you so much for listening and see you soon. Bye.